Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing good. Please subscribe to my channel if you are new. My name is CS Harshdeep Singh Narula and today we are going to discuss about which registrations or what type of registrations are required to start a business in India. And we'll talk about few things in it. Before that, I'll just give you an introduction of the topic, like why we are talking about this video. So what type of registration? Like whenever somebody is going to start their business, their own business journey, they are always thinking that which legal compliances or what kind of business registrations should I get to avoid any penalties or additional fees or any other thing or any other compliance or jail or whatever the case may be. So this video is for that. This video is for those people who are going to start their business journey for the very first time. Even if you are already a businessman, already an entrepreneur, this video is also for you if you do not know about the correct registrations applicable on you. So we'll discuss majorly about the introduction, which registrations are recommendatory, which are mandatory, why mandatory and why recommendatory. Then we will discuss about that approval time, fee structure and everything of this video and about the conclusion of this video. So we'll begin with the introduction part. Why registrations are required? First of all, we'll discuss that. The registrations are required to make your business compliant, to make sure that you are a legal business. For example, even you are starting any kind of a business, you need a proof of that business, and that proof is your registration certificate. So a registration certificate can be anything which is right now provided by the government. We'll move further. What is the importance of registration of business? I'll say that to avoid legal issues, to avoid penalties, to avoid unnecessarily raids on your business, to avoid unnecessarily calling you out to the office of the registry, any registry, for example, MC office, or to avoid any kind of penalty or appearances before judge, or to avoid any extra cost applied or incurred on your attorneys, on your advocates, on your accountants, to avoid everything, to avoid major legal costs, to avoid major legal compliances, and to avoid your wastage of time. These registrations are important before you start any business. We'll move further. What are the different kind of registrations and what is the applicability? We'll discuss that now. So the different kind of registrations are, first of all, we'll talk like the most common, that is MSME registration. Then is trade license. Then is shop and establishment license, IEC, import export code, food license, Startup India registration, company incorporation, partnership firm registration, trademarks registration, etc. The list is very long. We'll discuss about the recommendatory and mandatory only, which is need of an hour. We'll move further. Applicability of registrations. So while I just talked about the registrations, a few registrations like MSME, trade license, shop and establishment, food license. So the applicability varies from state to state, from country to country, and from business to business. So now we are India. We'll take our country as India. So that is the case. However, our states are different. So the applicability of the country is different, applicability of the states are different, and applicability of the requirement of your business is different. We'll move further. What do you mean by recommendatory? In the beginning, we discussed that we'll discuss about which type of registrations are recommendatory in nature and which are mandatory in nature. We'll begin with the recommendatory one. So the recommendatory are the one to make sure your business is safe and sound and compliant. However, if you do not follow the recommendatory registrations, then you are not going to face any issue from the government. However, you might face some issues in your day-to-day business life or in the protection of your brand. We recommend, like we the consultants recommended it, so that means it's a recommendatory. And we recommended it because to make sure your business is compliant, there are extra compliances followed, and your brand is totally protected from head to toe. So what do you mean by mandatory registrations? So the mandatory registrations are those registrations which are made compulsory by the state government or our Indian government or by any other law compulsory to adopt to register ourselves for our business. So even in the case of mandatory registrations, it varies from state to state, from law to law, from business to business, and from country wise. We'll move further. We'll discuss about the mandatory registrations in brief and recommendatory registrations in brief now. So in the mandatory registrations, for example, right now as of today, you are going to start any business. So what are the registrations applicable on you on mandatory or compulsory basis that you need to get it, and without getting it you cannot run your business. Even if without getting it you run your business, then there will be extra penalties on you, and so you have to suffer that. So to make sure you do not suffer in the future, to save your time, to save your extra money, and to save you from the hassle, you need these mandatory registrations to start a business, or before or just after starting your business. So the first is trade license. So what do you mean by trade license? As the name suggests, trade. Trade means commerce. Commerce means buying and selling of goods and services. If you are starting any business, that means you are either selling goods or buying goods, or either you are selling services or selling goods, or buying and selling of goods is going on there in your business. That is proper commerce. So this means that trade license to run your trade. So I think you understood this concept very well. We'll further move with the fee structure and approval time. So we'll further move with the fee structure and approval timeline of the trade license. What is the fee structure? What is the approval timeline? So when we are talking about the fee structure, the fee structure varies upon two constraints or two factors mainly. The first one is the fee varies from state to state. That is factor number one. Now the factor number two is the fee varies from state to state, but it also varies from business to business. For example, you are doing a clothing business, or for example you are doing a drugs business like for medicine business, or for example you are doing a petroleum business, or you are doing anything agricultural business, then the applicability of the trade license will be there, but the fee part will change on your business. For example, in case of a business like a small business, or let's say it's just an example, we are opening a business of clothing. For example, the fee for this state is 1,000 rupees. However, I am also opening, other person is opening a business of petroleum. So the fee for his trade license is 1 lakh rupees. So this is the case, the fee may vary. The fee for the trade license start from the very little, that is 0, without any cost. For some states it's 100 rupees, for some state it's 1,000, for some it's 2,000 beginning, and it goes up to 25,000, 50,000, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs and 10 lakhs. So it's upon the structure of your business and your state, the fee and the approval time varies. This was all about the trade license, a short brief. Now we will move further that what is the second requirement. Now the second requirement is shop and establishment license. So like a trade license, you understood it's for the trades. Trade means a commerce. Commerce means buying and selling of goods or services. If you are in selling of services or selling of goods, then trade license is applicable on you. However, there is also another concept of the state, that is shop and establishment registrations. So what is that? Like, it is very similar to trade license. However, it is not a trade license. It is also required by the law. It has been made mandatory by the law, by your state law. However, there was no need as of today under the concept of ease of doing business in 2023. There is no such need of separate registrations. Only one registration should be applicable. However, this is not the case right now. There is a need of separate registrations. Taking that into note, second mandatory registration is shop and establishment license or shop and establishment registration. So when we see the introduction part, you understand shop. Shop means your premises, business premises. Establishment, it's also business premises. For that you need a license. In most of the states, the fee for shop and establishment license is zero. However, in some state it's 100 rupees, in other it's 600 rupees, and in some it's 1000 rupees. The fee may vary state wise, and the approval time in most of the states, the approval, you get approval just by filing an application. Your registration certificate is generated. However, this is not the case in every state. There are approval guidelines, there is an approval process in many states. For example, if you are filing in a state and after that it will go through 5 or 6 checks or just 2 checks or n number of checks, and after that they might raise your objections and you have to resolve that. If no objections are raised, then your certificate will be approved and you will be generated. So moving further, we are talking about the mandatory registrations required on your new business or on already existing business. So we discussed about the requirement of trade license. Then we discussed about requirement of shop and establishment license. Now we will discuss about requirement of FSI food license and requirement of import export code. The first two requirements, that is a trade license and shop and establishment license, is mandatory for each and every business, new or existing. However, food license is only, like from the name you guess, FSI food license. The food license is only for those businesses which are doing the business of food, any kind of food, even any number of food, like small business, big business, or any kind of business which sells the food indirectly or directly, doing trading of the food, packaging, repackaging of the food, manufacturing of the food, import and export of the food, and catering, for example, then food license is applicable on you. So for the food license, the fee, it is divided into 3 parts: basic registration, state license, and central license. Basic is mostly applicable on those whose turnover is likely or whose turnover is under 12 lakhs, and the government fees for basic registration is 100 rupees for 1 year plus GST. For state, the government fees varies from 2000 rupees to 5000 rupees plus GST. And why does it vary? I'll tell you why. It varies because of the kind of businesses. For example, if you are applying for the multiple kinds, for example, you are doing transportation of goods, you are packaging of the goods, you are doing wholesale distribution, like it's 2000. Now you say you also want to manufacture, then they'll raise it to 3000. Now you say you are doing dairy business, they might raise it to 5000. That is the case. And now we are discussing for who it is required, like above 12 lakh, there are different limits. Sometimes it's above 12 lakhs, below 20 crore, above 12 lakhs, below 30 crore. Number of transportation, for example, if you are running more than 10 trucks, under 100 trucks, this is the case. It's all case to case basis. And now there is a central license requirement, that is third. There are, under food license, there comes 3 registrations. First is basic registration, 100 rupee fee. Second is state license, that is 2000 rupees to 5000 rupees fee. And the third is central license, the fees is 7500 plus GST for each year. The central license is required by those businesses which are on big scale. And if it's not even on big scale, for example, if you are doing e-commerce business, like you are doing on the multi-state, it will be sold, so you need central license. If you are doing import export as well, you also need the central license. So this was all about the central license, and the approval time for the central license is 30 to 60 days as per the government schedule. Their timeline is 30 to 60 days maximum. We'll move further is in the mandatory registrations. We talked about trade license, we talked about shop and establishment, we talked about the food license. Now we'll talk about import export code. From the name you know that import export code is only applicable on those businesses which are into import or export or both. The fee for import export government fees is 500 rupees, and the approval time is single day. Like you file the application of import and export, you sign it, and you'll just get your import and export certificate with IEC code. We'll move further now. Recommendatory registration. So this is an interesting part now. When we are talking about the mandatory registrations, everyone knows that these are mandatory, these are mandatorily required. So when we talk about the recommendatory registrations, it means that why do we need recommendatory registrations? What is the need of an R? And these are not even required by the law compulsorily. And why do I need it? I'll tell you why you need it. First is MSME registration. MSME earlier it used to be known as Udyog Aadhaar. MSME is also known as Aadhaar of your business. Earlier it used to be known as Udyog Aadhaar. Now it is known as Udyam Aadhaar. So this is the introduction, like it is your Aadhaar of your business. Approval time is while after filing the application by hand to hand, you get the approval of your MSME certificate and it will be generated. The fee is nil, there is no government fee involved. Then why is it required by you? Is it just a mere certificate? No. MSMEs are very well protected by the law. If you are an MSME as of today, because MSME is covered with three business scale models, that is small, medium, and micro, small, and medium. Obviously, if you start your business, you are micro or small, and to get to the medium, you will take time. So you are still a small business as per the MSME guidelines. If some dispute happens in your business, then you can file a case in the MSME with the MSME. Because you are a small business, the government will protect you with the extra provisions and extra laws. This is why it is required. Next is trademarks registrations. So what I have seen is, this is the main thing. This is the thing you should just do before starting your business. Like while we were talking about the mandatory registrations, in that I discussed that you can do it just after starting a business or just before, as the case may be. In the most cases, you have to get those registrations just after starting your business journey. In every other case like GST registration, trademark registration, anything ISO, you need it after starting your business. However, trademarks registration, I suggest you, however you can file a trademark at any point of your life and any point of your business journey. However, I suggest you to file the trademarks application just before beginning your business journey, so to protect your brand. And people think they are smart, they can get it done at any time. The government fees is just mere 4,500. The time may vary from 2 months to 2 years, that's a different case. However, if you file a trademarks application right today, at least you will be secure with some kind, with something, an application, a brand protection. Even if it's not registered, you will be secure somehow. So please get it done. Otherwise, if you are not getting it done, your competitor will get your name. And then there will be opposition cases, court cases, attorney fees, many things. Right now, the government fees is just 4,500. And if you'll not apply before starting your business, you know the fee structure, then how much you have to pay to the advocates, attorneys, how much you have to pay while dealing with the case, the time wasted, 5 years, 10 years, you know the law, you know how the structure works. Moving further, we talked about in the recommendatory MSME, that is Udyam. Then we talked about trademarks registration. Now we are talking about GST registration. So GST registration is only applicable on those businesses which have certain kind of business or which have crossed certain kind of turnover. However, if you have not crossed any turnover or this is not your business kind, you still can offer GST registration to make your business look attractive. When I say the word attractive, my clients get their GST registration without turnover as well, because people tend to believe more on the businesses which are registered under GST. They think this is an old business and doing well. So this is an Indian mindset, and you should also follow this mindset. This is a common human psychology in India right now. So moving further, in GST, the approval time is like 5 days to 30 days. It changes like not more than a month actually. And the fee structure is government fees is 0 for GST registration. Moving further, ISO certification. So when we are talking about the ISO certification can be of n number of types. The most famous and common ISO certification is 9001. What is an ISO? ISO is kind of a structure If you have an ISO registration, most of the people, even the customers, do not know the definition. However, to make it look attractive and to make your business compliant in other ways, for example, to make a proper structure in your company. Let's say you are going to a clinic to get an injection. Will they just you enter and put an injection in you, and after that they'll note your name, and after that they'll say that this is your receipt? No, this does not happen. ISO means to follow a certain step, like 5-point step, 3-point step, 10-point step for every other business, for every other customer. For example, you entered in the clinic. First of all, you have to stand in a line. Step number 1. If there is no line, you will go to the reception. Let's say reception is the step number 1. They will say that what is your name, what is your requirement, they'll note your details. That is step number 2. Then you have to pay the fee. Your receipt will be generated, step number 3. Then they will pass on the receipt to the person who will put an injection. That is step number 4. Then they'll ask you to wait. That is step number 5. Then step number 6 is they'll call you. Step number 6, they'll take blood from your veins. Step number 7, they'll then note it down and they'll keep in a box, separate cold box. Step number 8, then they'll say that you will receive this and this in so much time, reports in so much time. Then they will the technician will take it to the doctors. That is step number 9. Then the doctor will test it. That is step number 10. Then the doctors will generate their report and sign it. That is step number 11. And now it will come back to the receptionist, and the receptionist will print it out and deliver it to you. That is step number 12. And this very 12th step will be followed for every other business. So now you think, how attractive does it look like to follow a structure? It looks very attractive. Even when we get a call from the clients, we ask the name, we ask the reference, we ask certain questions from them. We do a public search report, we research about their business. Then only we start talk to them. Then only we start discussing about their issues or legal compliances they need. We do not jump. What is your legal compliance? This and this. We do not do that. We have to study. We have to know the person. We have to study everything. This is a procedure. Then we send a proposal. Then we send a revised proposal. Then we generate a receipt. An invoice. Then they make a payment. Then we issue a receipt that the payment in receipt. Then we start the process. Then we update on the process. Then we share government receipts. Then we share the approvals. This is the thing. We do not mix up the things. Like the client came, 25,000, this is your invoice. This does not happen. We have to know the business, we have to know the name, we have to know everything about. These are the steps we follow as well, being attorneys. Moving further, ISO, like the most famous is 9001. There are many other ISOs. There are two kind of ISOs. One is IAF, and that is one is other than IAF. The ISO is issued by many agencies in India also, from Egypt also, from UK also, from US also, from many countries. The fee varies from agency to agency, and the fee vary from the ISO to ISO. The basic fees, if we say about the ISO 9001, is around 3,000 to 5,000 rupees for IAF, and for non-IAF it's like 2,000 to 3,000. You can also research and call on Google as well. The fee may vary from agency to agency. Moving further, company incorporation. Coming to the company incorporation, why did I put this in recommendatory? I'll tell you why. When we are talking about the company incorporation is honestly not required for you, or registering yourself as LLP or partnership is not required for you if you're doing a business on a small or individual scale. Why to get into extra compliances? So it is for those who want to make their business look attractive, who wants to expand their business, and who wants to have multiple fundings, multiple partners, and multiple directors to handle the business. This is the case. So the company incorporation fees, let's say in Delhi, stamp duty is 360 rupees, PAN-TAN is 143, name reservation is 1000, and digital signature cost is 2000. So on average, the company incorporation fees for every state is 3000 to 5000 for government. However, this is not in the case of Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, and Kerala. The fee in Punjab is 10,000, the fee in Madhya Pradesh is 7,500. On average, if you are from Delhi, Haryana, or UP, then the fee varies from 3,000 to 5,000, including government and digital signature charge. If you already have digital signature, then the government fees is way too less then. Moving further, Startup registration. So startup registration, I say it is only for three things. The first thing is to make your business look very attractive. Right now, this is the era of startups in India, and you have to get yourself as registered as a startup to make your customers believe that you are a registered startup. After our Indian government brought the concept of Startup India, it was taking new heights. However, after Shark Tank India, it's have taken another heights now. You can get your register as startup and make it look attractive. Second thing, to get the benefits of tax exemption. Third is to attract investor and apply for seed funding. These are the three main points of Startup India. So I'll discuss all the points again. So this was about the recommendatory and mandatory registrations. Before starting a business, make sure you are ready for these registrations. The business you start does not start like this. Only putting your raw material, only getting your computer systems, only hiring people is not a business. Getting yourself registered is also a part of your business journey. Once you start a business, there are mandatory requirements like trade license, shop and establishment license, food license, IEC if that is the case, and recommendatory are GST, MSME, trademarks, ISO, Startup India registration, and company incorporation. So that's all for this video. If you have any query regarding any other business registration, like in your case it's APIDA, for example, you want PSG registration, you want any other registration, then you can contact us. You can contact me on my email address. It's mentioned in the description. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. I'll be happy to resolve it. Also, we at yourlegalexpert.in, that is www.yourlegalexpert.in, also deals in these services. We also deal in public company incorporation, NBFC, society, trust registration, and many other Nidhi registrations, and many other business registrations, and taxation and accounting work and secretarial work. You can also reach out to us there, and we'll be happy to resolve your issues. Thank you very much.